Alright.
Oh no! Ah!
Welcome back to Cynthia Untamed. This is your youthful and educational platform. If you have not checked out my digital platform, CynthiaUntamed.com, do make sure you check it out and see the stories of young mobilizers and influencers right here in Africa. How do I access and maintain networks? This episode of Cynthia Untamed will be focusing on networking hacks for young people in Africa. It is often said that for you to get an opportunity, you must know someone. But what I have really come to discover, it's not the people you know, but it is the people who know you. What do I mean by the people who know you in this context? I mean the people who can vouch for your ideas, people who can vouch for your organization, people who can vouch for your compassion, for your kindness, for your humility, for your hard work, people who can vouch for your integrity, people who can vouch for your ideas, your thoughts, your networks, the networks that you have among young people. These are the kinds of networks that I am talking about. So how do you access, build, and maintain them? I keep saying this and I will always repeat it. If you are at the university or in an institution of higher learning or a technical educational school, take advantage of your time in school. Make sure you are the leader of a club, you are the leader of a society, or if that's not for you, start your own organization. If that's not for you, either you like to be in the back seat, join any of these clubs, join any of these organizations, and start building a resume for yourself. You're not going to get an opportunity just like that when nobody can vouch for your ideas. That is the first thing you need to do. Build something out of your life over the course of the years that you are in school. Start attending events. If you are the kind of person who likes to go to class and go back to your hostel, go to class and go back home, go to class and hang around in the streets, I'm not saying that is a bad thing. Go home, go to your hostel, sleep, do what you want, but also take time to go to important events. So for example, how I started is I used to look at the notice board in our school. So I'd go check and I would check and I'd see, oh, Professor so-and-so is coming to give a public lecture at Taifa Hall at the University of Nairobi. It is free. All I needed to do was show up because I am a student. I can easily access it with a student ID. That's all I needed to do. So start attending these events. After you attend an event, speak to people, and don't just speak to the minister or to the head of an organization. Speak to young people like you. There are many young people out here who are so exposed to opportunities, to platforms. Speak to them. Make sure they have your number so that the next time an important thing is happening, they can call you, they can refer you, you can be in their email list. Be within these networks. Be strategic about the events you attend. Don't just attend everything. When I started, this is a mistake I made. I used to attend everything. But this attending everything also helps if you do not know what you really want to do. So explore. But if you already know that you want to be in the technology space, for example, then niche down the level of events you go to, because also going to all events may not be so meaningful. So you can attend a technology event, speak to people like I said. When you go to many of these events, business cards are exchanged, selfies are taken, a lot of things happen in these events. But let me tell you, also be wise in those events. After you take a selfie with a celeb, what's next? You'll post it on Instagram, you'll get likes, and then you'll go to the next event and take another selfie. I think what you also need to do is really be intentional about the things you are doing, the cards you are taking. And I'm possibly a victim of taking too many cards and never doing anything with them, and also exchanging my own cards and they never do anything with them. but identify from that audience, from the people you spoke to, or from the business cards you picked, who do you really want now to talk to. Then when you get home, or when you have some time, write an email to this person, say it was lovely meeting you at this event, possibly we could collaborate on something else, or you can tell me about other events that I may be useful in terms of volunteering, or I can come and speak, I can come and showcase something, I can come and teach something. Be very intentional about the networks you're making. Don't just take cards and selfies and go back home. No, that does not really help, because like I told you, it is not the people you know, it is the people who know you. Another networking hack that you really need as a young person who is starting from scratch. You know you're starting from scratch. You've come from Kariobangi somewhere, you've come from Kisumu somewhere, nobody knows you, nobody frankly cares. How do you do this? Be in networks where young people are supported. Apply for things. So for example, you can apply for the Young African Regional Leadership Center here in East Africa. That's one. You can apply for Women Deliver program. That's another thing. Apply for different things where you can be in a network where young people are supported. And the testaments that I have heard from people who apply for these things is that once you get 2 or 3 really good opportunities, then the doors start opening, because you have a resume that is credible, but you also have a network of people who can easily pick you and say, I know someone who works on education, I know someone who works on gender equality, I know someone who works on climate change. Let us pick that person. Be in these spaces. Keep applying for these opportunities where young people are being supported. And don't just look at the big ones, especially if sometimes you might, like for example, for me, I applied for Yali 5 times before I was accepted. So you see, also be courageous enough to apply for other things that you may consider smaller, but really they now start building up. The first leadership program I did was Emerging Leaders Foundation through Karen Wakoli. If you do not know Karen Wakoli, I'm telling you, Obama knows her. There was this time he just said, Karen Wakoli empowers young people in Africa. So do check out Emerging Leaders Foundation. That is the first space I was in. And after that, now my networks and my leadership capabilities started growing from there on. So start from somewhere. Allow people to be familiar with the work that you are doing. I can tell you for sure that sometimes there are many open applications out here, but many of the times, a few of the I don't know, I don't have a percentage, but I know sometimes they already know who they are looking for, and sometimes the advertisement is usually just for formality. So how do you make sure that when the formality is happening, you are actually the person for the opportunity? Let people know who you are. Let people be aware. Stop being shy. Stop being ashamed of the work you are doing. Speak up. So for example, if you register at the US Embassy here in Nairobi, there's a resource center. I don't know what's going on now that there's corona, but if you register there, you can access the resource center for free. There you can study for your SAT examinations and all that. But they also usually have events, and they usually send emails, and many of the times they usually have a maximum number they're looking for. So if the registration gets to 60, they're closing it, and only those 60 will be allowed to get into that resource center. And guess what? You cannot get in with your phone, so you won't see anyone taking a picture that they were at this event, but they came out with knowledge in their mind, you see, and they came out with networks. When you apply for an opportunity, you know what they're going to do? When the computer is just checking, because a lot of these things are usually also selected by computers, it automatically picks your name because you've put yourself in a system of familiarity. And this is something that I'm also really trying to hack. I did not know this earlier on, like very early on in life, but trust me, many of the times this is what happens. People like picking faces that they know, even if they don't know you, like where you live and all that, but they know about your work. That's why I'm telling you, it's so important for people to know you, not you knowing someone, not you having their number on their phone. It's them knowing what exactly you are doing to build this continent. People really underestimate the power of volunteering. A lot of the times people always say that oh, I'm not doing anything for free. But like I told you, if you're starting from zero, you know, you have no opportunity, yani you have nothing. Let me tell you, volunteering is such a good way. How do you begin? When you go for an event, it's the simple things. They might even ask you to just arrange the chairs. They might ask you to bring in the water for the guests. Let me tell you, start from the humble beginnings. Even if an event is like 20,000, if it means carrying the handbag of that person to that event just so that you can access the opportunity, start from there. Do not be proud. Start from there. And you see, once you start from the beginning, from ground zero, people start noticing what you are doing. And you see, when an opportunity opens up, who are they going to tell? They're going to tell you to apply for it. They won't tell anyone else. Yes, they might put it as an advert, but they'll also tell you to apply for that opportunity. And that's the benefit of volunteering. Showcase your work. Show that you are humble, that you are ready for action. Africa is open for business. And how is it open for business? It is through the hard work of our young people. Another networking hack that you need as a young person is being consistent with your story. And that's why I'm telling you, it's important for you to discover your passions early in life. Because you see, if you went to an event and you said you're working with women, you went to another one, you're a writer, you went to another one, you're doing something else, then there's a disconnect in your brand. So be consistent with your story. Tell a single story that I can easily search for and pick out a similar narrative. Stop changing your story all the time. And I know life evolves, life is not the same, but try to be consistent with what you're telling people, because then it helps you to niche down to an area where you can easily be referred. We are living in the digital age, so it's important for you to use these digital platforms. Yes, people usually say, oh, me, I don't want people to see how I'm helping people. Yes, it's true. It's good for your intentions to be authentic and to be true. But guess what again? How am I going to know your work if I can't find you? There is no website. You're not on Instagram. You're not on Twitter. You're not on Facebook. You're nowhere. If I search for you, you're nowhere. I do not even know if you exist on the digital platform. There are two types of CVs. There's a physical CV that you submit when you're applying for an opportunity, and then there's your digital presence. A lot of the time, sometimes when I have been told like to look through some applications, I'm usually told, look up this person on LinkedIn, look them up on Twitter, see if there's something fishy, see if there's something interesting to talk about. So market yourself. And let me tell you, there are very many ways of doing it. Build your digital platform, post pictures of the work you're doing, approach journalists to feature your story for free. If you go to Daily Nation or the Saturday papers, there are many pieces that can be done for free. You don't need to pay. If you want to tell your story on my network, you don't need to pay. Just write an email to the journalist of that feature story and tell them, this is the work I'm doing. Would you feature me? Let me tell you, if you're very consistent and you're very humble and you keep trying, let me tell you, they will say yes and they will feature your story. I have done that a couple of times. It has never been easy because for me, journalists don't just approach me to tell my story. I always have to pitch. I always have to write to Daily Nation. Please, could you talk about the work I'm doing with my digital platform? I always have to approach like producers. When I appeared on Living with S, I had to write to the producer. I gave him a call. I told him this is the work that I am doing. And eventually, sometime later, I was featured on that show. So imagine, you have to write to people, and it was all for free. I did not pay anything. All I had to do was tell my story and say, I really want to tell this story. And you'll realize, even as you start applying for things, they'll ask, have you been featured on any website, any videos about you? Please share the links. You see, if you're not looking for these opportunities constantly, then you're missing out. Let me tell you, you don't have to pay to appear in a newspaper or on TV. And I'm not saying that now you start looking for fame. I'm just saying these are ways for you to leverage. There are very many platforms for you to leverage the work that you are doing so that you are more visible. It's called having a visibility plan. A bonus tip when it comes to networking hacks: as a young person, stay true to yourself. to be honest, I have been very disappointed of late when now I start hearing that someone you really knew was doing great work has not really been doing it with the right intentions. There are so many temptations out here, to be honest. There are so many people looking for fame. Right now you can be famous for anything, literally anything. You can do something stupid, you can do something great, you can do something bad, and you're still famous. Stay true to your calling, stay true to your cause. Don't look for fame, look for influence. Look for influence. What do I mean by influence? Influence means that you're able to make people do things. You're not just waiting to show people that you're making moves. So make sure you stay true to yourself, be authentic, and let me tell you, the right opportunities will open up for you. Those are the networking tips that I have for you today. Thank you for tuning into Cynthia Untamed. This is your youthful and educational platform. Follow me on my other social media handles on Twitter at Cynthia_Opera, on Instagram at CynthiaOpera_ Nyongesa. I will leave that in the link in the description bar below, and see you in the next episode.
갑자기 내게 나타나준 너, 난 아무 말도 할 수가 없었지. 첫눈에 반한다는 이야기가 널 보는 순간 이해가 됐어. 매번 야야야야야 불러 널 야야야야, 내 맘을 고백하려고 타이밍만